In a landmark judgment passed on 31st August 2021, the Supreme Court of India has upheld an order of the Allahabad High Court directing the demolition of twin towers constructed by the builder Supertech in Noida in its Emerald Court project. Now, the case was filed, interestingly, by the Resident Welfare Association of the project, saying that the company had flouted the norms of maintaining adequate distance of 16 meters between the two towers, which have 40 floors each, and the builder had not taken the consent of the home buyers to build these towers, which were not there in the original plan. As per UP Apartment Owners Act, for any change in a project, the builder has to seek the consent of the existing home buyers. The question on everyone's mind is, will Supertech be able to meet its commitment of delivering on its under construction projects, which are spread between Noida, Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway and Meerut? It's now faced with the task of demolishing these two towers at its own cost in the next 2 months and also refunding the home buyers in these twin towers with 12% interest. Lawyer Aditya Parolia joins us, who's done a deep dive into this topic. Aditya, you know, Mr. R.K. Arora, in an interview to one of the leading business papers, has actually claimed that the twin towers will not impact the company's ability to deliver on any of the other projects. Do you believe that to be true?
I do not believe it, Manisha ji. See, their prime concerns, when they claim that 90% of the projects are ready or 90% of the projects are complete, we have to understand these are only structure which are ready, which practically do not tend to be around more than 30% in practicality, though they take 90% of the amount. And from my experience, which I go, we are in litigation against almost 14 to 15 projects of Supertech, which are far from completion. Even Supertech Upcountry, which they claim to be completed, still do not have the occupation certificate for last 5 years. Similarly, the same situations are being faced for the projects in Gurgaon, whereby they claim that they have reached a particular stage whereby 90% completion is there, but actual occupancy or actual permission to come from these authorities is far, far away. And these projects have been in the same situation for a considerable time. So I do not believe that he will be able to complete if he honors this order. Plus, now he has to get money from somewhere. He, of course, after coming into RERA, he will not be able to get money from the existing project. If he does, it will be called siphoning off. And he will have to face criminal and the RERA proceedings against that.
So Aditya, you say that yes, the projects are 90% completed, yet they're far from completion and the buyers really cannot move into them. But let me just take a look at these projects which are there. This is data from Prop Equity and Lysis Forus. There's Noida, Romano, ORB, North High and Supernova, which show as being either 90% plus complete or around 90%. Greater Noida, there's Eco Village, phase 1, 2 and 3. Again, they're showing as almost completed. There's Upcountry, Golf Country, again showing as almost completed. Meerut, Sports City and Green Village Meerut are the ones which are showing far from completion. Aditya, I'm also looking at the RERA dates now. Most of these projects that we've spoken about were launched around 2012. We're sitting in 2021. They've still not been delivered. So there is that big question mark in terms of the developer's capability to complete in time, isn't it? Even though the RERA registration may show as 2017, that really does not matter.
Yes, it doesn't matter. We have in fact argued this point before various courts, specifically the Consumer Forum and the Honorable Supreme Court, where all these pleas were declined by them. In fact, in Upcountry, they said that it is complete and we have handed over you fit out possession and the date promised by us as per RERA guidelines is so and so. But on the contractual norms, the agreement when it was signed, which was in 2012 or 13, if I remember, the possession was to be promised in 2016. So NCDRC rejected these arguments. And the same status remains with most of them. Now, when they say project is complete, trust me on it that the project is not complete, plus the amenities are very far from completion. We'll have to see that how these projects were envisaged and sold were luxury apartments or luxury projects with golf courses or swimming pools or clubhouses. I'm yet to see any project where all these facilities are still there, and a significant amount of money was taken for them also.
So now, I mean, they are rather delayed already. What happens if the developer is unable to complete these? I mean, will he be able to refund? I don't think refund is possible in any of these projects. Will he honor his, interest payment commitment for the delay?
let me ask you a question on this also, or pose a question. If he had money, would not he have completed all the projects? Why are these projects delayed? If he had money to complete everything, these projects would have been completed in time, which clearly shows today that the home buyers have paid the money. 90% money has been paid, and most of these projects, Supertech was one of the first one to come up with subvention plans, where money was paid in advance by the banks and the financial institutions. Now, where has that money gone? If it is not used in projects are not completed. The question mark remains that if this Supreme Court order he complies with it, how will he finish the other projects? And
that's a very valid point that you've raised. And, something that nobody is talking about is the fact that when, these two twin towers, which is Apex and Cairn, are brought down and demolished, the amount of debris, waste and dust which is going to be generated in the NCR region is, I can't even comprehend it. Any ideas on why the Apex Code did not take into consideration that aspect?
I do not know that. See, we are a country we have spoken about a lot of pollution issues. I don't think today as a country as a whole we look into it, but I've spoken to a lot of residents around that project area, and all of them are pretty afraid because some people have small children or elderly at their home, and in fact this debris will spread across the NCR region. Now they have directed two authorities, NBCC and one other authority, to oversee it, but it will be important to see that how will these be brought down. I fear that these will create some environmental repercussions, and as you know, 2 months have been given, and Diwali is around the corner, and we all know what happens to Delhi during Diwali season.
Well, Aditya, you've raised very important questions in this case, and of course the judgment of the Supreme Court. Several notes. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking us through your views. So, as Aditya said, lots of consumer cases already pending against the developer in various courts. Existing home buyers should brace themselves for delays and delinquencies. But more importantly, the impact of the demolition of these two towers on the environment and air pollution on NCR, imagine that. I'm going to wrap out there. This topic is not going to go anywhere. We'll come back and revisit. Thank you so much for joining.